Whew. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've got everything figured out. Oh my goodness gracious, it's been a whirlwind and a comedy of errors on this end of the stream tonight. My goodness gracious, computers going on with updates. I am forgetting to click things and make sure things are okay, so I really hope that people can see me and hear me. That's the number one thing. So if you're having trouble seeing me or hearing me, just let me know. But otherwise, I'm just going to keep on going just the way it is. Welcome, everybody, for another lovely Tuesday evening with Mr. Rau and Mr. Rau's Gaming. Oh my goodness gracious! Oh, I don't see. Look at this. I don't even have the game box ready in the picture. Yeah, tonight we're going to be taking a look at the Legacy of You from Shem Phillips and Garphill Games, the solo-only game. I did not back this on Kickstarter. I did manage to pick this one up at my friendly local game store a little while ago, but I'm only just kind of getting around to it lately, and I thought, you know what, maybe this would be an opportunity to kick off the campaign. I'll kick off it is, yeah, it's a campaign mode solo only game where things are going to be going around. Gameplay elements are going to be changing up, and here we go. Now the chat's starting to come on in. We've got Vincent in the chat. Welcome once again, Vincent. Hello, my friend. How are you tonight? Hopefully everything's going well out in the east there. Yeah, so first of all, solo games kind of been my jam a little bit lately. I kind of really have to, that's kind of where I'm at, kind of in my thing. Yeah, Vincent saying he knows nothing about this particular game, and so hopefully you get a little bit of an idea, at least from the game one perspective. And then I'm getting into my summer mode here soon because, teaching's winding up here in Saskatchewan. I only got this week left. Then I'm on summer holidays, taking off to the lake for a little while. I thought that after tonight, which is I'm labeling part one of my Legacy of You campaign, I'm going to be doing some pre-recorded recordings of the rest of the campaign and after tonight and releasing those periodically throughout the summer months. I'm still going to be coming on live every now and then when I'm, in town. So I'll let you folks know. Just follow me on all my socials. Twitter mainly. Started kind of posting a little bit on Instagram again. Facebook, I've got a page where I post things. And of course, staying tuned to the YouTube channel, I will be having a lot of, I'll have a lot of the information about what's going on lately. So this is part one. I'm going to be releasing the rest of the campaign because how this campaign actually works is that you're going to be playing through a certain number of games, undetermined. But if you manage to win 7 games, not 7 games in a row, but if you just win 7 games, you win the campaign. But if you lose 7 games, you lose the campaign. So obviously you're going to win some, lose some. So I'm going to, somewhere between 7 and what would that be? 13-ish games that you'll be playing, playing through. So, hey, I'm all for it. And you know what? It's got a crunchy decisions. It's a Euro style. We're not really gaining points, but we're doing some resource management, some card management type things. Why not just get into it? Should we just get into it, Vincent? I think so. Let's just get right into it. I'm going to switch my screen on over so that you can see what I am actually talking about here for tonight. Yeah, Ez, welcome to the stream. He says, let's roll. Though there's no dice in this game, so I don't know exactly what we're rolling, but you know what? Fist bump to you, my man. Fist bump to you. So I've got this laid out here. It's actually a really nice, it's one of these kind of like smaller box style games. And really, what I really enjoy about this is that it sets up very, very easily. There's a real handy, there's this real handy little insert where everything's labeled, everything's got a spot. You just kind of open up the box, lay out the board, put down some cards, shuffle some decks, lay them out, and you're ready to go. I really enjoyed the setup on this one. So it's all set up here. What we are trying to do here is what our goal is, that we want to finish this canal. And of course, in order to do this, finishing off this canal, we're going to need to allocate some workers and some resources in order to finish section by section. And we want to do that before a couple things happen. Good solo games is there's usually only one way to win, but there's multiple ways that we can lose the game. How we manage to lose the game is if this flood, because you know what, there's this region, it's flooding. And if this flood token ever catches up to our barge, we lose the game. The area is flooded. So right now it is not off. It's not there. We kind of there. So we're gonna have now. How does this flood token actually advance? Well, we've got our own little deck of cards here that we drew 10 random cards from this villager's deck. And we start off with 4 in our hand in the opening phase here. So we've got 6 more, and we draw 4 at the beginning of every phase. And if ever we can't draw any more cards, and we have to shuffle our discard pile and make it, every time we have to shuffle our pile, we advance the flood token. So we've got about a couple rounds here in order to get enough resources in order to get us to build this first canal region and going forward. Now it is Euro based, and so we're going to kind of hopefully do a little bit of engine building here, where we are going to be able to build out some of these buildings. And as soon as we build out some buildings, we're going to unlock some abilities. Building out these, I believe they're called farmhouses. They just give us extra income at the beginning of every round. So if I build this one, I get an extra white worker. But if I build this one, I get some more food provisions. Or if I build this one, I get a worker of any color. These buildings that I am blanking on what their names are, they allow us some flexibility in our workers. So like if I build this one, a white worker can be treated as a red worker and vice versa. If I build out more, white and red can be used as blue, but blue can also be used as red. So these ones allow you the flexibility in your worker colors. And then we've got some huts down here that we can also build. And they've got something special on the backside of their cards. These ones were randomly put out, and they got something special on the back. It could be, get some resources. Or the whole big thing about this game is that behind some of these might actually be story entries. And this is how the game kind of changes from time to time, is that you'll eventually go into this book. I can see over here on these canal regions, there's story entry points that you'll go in the book and you'll read it, and then they'll sometimes introduce you to some new gameplay elements or some extra challenge for that particular game. Or just, change up your game, change up your setup, have to discard some things, bring some new elements into the game. There is this big story deck of cards that I've got over here that is quite massive, of different things that can be introduced into this game. So that's kind of a general overview of how things are going. So I've already kind of done the very first thing which is we gain our income for the particular round. So at the beginning of the round, we get to draw 4 cards, get a white worker, get a shell, and get a food. Yeah, that's a lot in the story. That's a lot in the story deck. And this book here, this storybook is, well, it doesn't look like much, but I'll just kind of do a quick fan. There's a lot of stuff in that. There's a lot of stuff in there. Hello, Dan. DNix7 coming into the chat. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Are you pulling double duty with my stream and the Tabletop Express's stream tonight? I got a feeling because the Tabletop Express tonight is doing their call aboard. 2 monitors. I like it. I like it a lot. I love how that's going. Can't lie. 2 monitors is the way to go. 3 monitors is best, but hey, we only have so much room. Okay, so yeah, so I've already done a little bit of setup. I got my deck of 10 cards here. I've already drawn. Maybe I'm gonna actually just kind of maybe move them off to the side here. We can. Here's my hand of 4 cards. Just kind of throw them off to the side here. Here's my hand of 4 cards, and then here are my resources. I got my white worker, I've got my provision, and I've got my, oh, what do they call them? The calorie shells. The calorie shells. Now, throughout a round, what we can do, now look, I backed waypoints last week. Okay, but waypoints is only like $5. Really. But if you're into solo games, I might have some bad news for you. You eventually down the line, you may be interested in something that I might check it out for tonight. But yeah, check it out for tonight. Now, there's lots of different things that we can do with our resources. Mainly, though, we are going to be doing these kind of like these building actions. We're going to want to try to get out some of these buildings so that we unlock some of those abilities. So I can either pay a white worker, a clay, and a wood, and I can build out one of these farmhouses. I can build a white worker, a clay, 3 wood, can build out one of these houses. That allows me to have flexibility in the colors of my workers and my worker types. Worker, 3 clay, and a wood allows me to put out a hut. But unfortunately, at the very beginning of the game, I only have space to build out 1 building. I actually have to build canal spaces, and underneath them, I'll actually have more spaces to build out. So right now, I actually only have the ability to build 1 building. So I kind of have to make a choice there. Now, you might think, I don't have actually very many resources to do some of these things. That's where our townsfolk cards are going to come into play. So let me just kind of I'll just grab this one here, and I'll kind of hold it up here. There's a few things that this card is providing me. The top left hand in that brown space is I can discard this card to my discard pile, and I just get that. So like that, I could just discard this card, and I would get a black worker, which is not bad. Now, I could get rid of this card out of my deck and just kind of put it into a discard pile way out here. So I've thinned my deck. It's not as big anymore, which means the flood might happen a little bit quicker. But I can get rid of this card, and I can get 2 benefits. I can get the top benefit, and I can also get the benefit that's in red there as well. But of course, in order to get that red benefit, I actually have to discard this card right out of my deck. Now, another thing that I could do with this card is along the bottom, where it says it has that income symbol. And I can tuck this under my board. Whoops. Let me see if I can do this. Can I tuck it? Yeah, there we go. I can tuck it under my board, and now I have some extra income I can get at the beginning of at the beginning of every round. And the more hut spaces I build, right now these are not available, but the more hut spaces I build, the more cards I'm allowed to tuck underneath my board for extra income. That's kind of nice. So you can kind of see I got some resources at my disposal. I can get some food. I can get a red worker, a black worker, a yellow worker. And really the different colors are going to come into play mainly for one of the big things that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to defeat these barbarians. There's a barbarian deck here that's kind of behind my little screen here. And these barbarians are going to invade every round unless if we deal with them. And in order to deal with them, I need to spend the food, and I need to spend the required color of workers in order to defeat them. And once I defeat them, then I'm going to get a little bit of a bonus, a benefit for defeating them. Otherwise, if I do not deal with this, at the end of every round, I'm either going to have to destroy a card out of my deck, or in this case, I have to spend a yellow worker. And there's going to be multiple times that there's going to be opportunities where there's going to be lots of barbarians out. So we're going to have to try to keep that in mind. Other things we can do is we can actually recruit these other villagers into our deck. The leftmost one, it's free. I can just claim it and put them into my deck, and therefore my deck's a little bit bigger again. Or I could just discard them, get the top bonus, But I would never actually I just get that bonus right away rather than having him sit in my discard pile until the next time around. I think I've kind of explained a little bit of everything. I'm trying to think if I've actually if I've described everything in this. But essentially, we're going to try to make sure that we build all the canal spaces before that flood token catches up to our barge. So, in the words that my grandfather used to teach me, pitter patter, let's get at her. I think so. Okay, so I've done my income. At the beginning of this phase, I've drawn my 4 cards. I've got my resources. Let's see what we want to do to get going. Well. I was trying to analyze a little bit ahead of time, but I really don't know exactly what I need to be able to do. Like my initial hand of cards really just gets me workers. This one does get me another food, which kind of really helps me with the recruiting process. And right, and there's abilities here too that I can always trade these shells in for the required resources. So we find ourselves flush with these cowrie shells, we will be able to actually spend them to get the resources that we're actually missing. So let's see here. What do we want to do? What do we want to do to begin with? Well, I don't actually have much of anything. I don't really want to lose a card out of my deck, so I do definitely think I need a yellow worker. So I'm going to actually discard. Whoops, I'm going to discard him. I'm going to grab myself a yellow worker. So I have it so that I can actually probably deal with that at the beginning of this, because I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to get to dealing with that at the beginning, or at least dealing with it this round. So I'll have it on hand. I'm thinking get a blue worker. I think I'm going to really need to get, you know what? Something that's really usually hard to get by is brick and wood. And I can see here I've got two that at the beginning of my income phase I can get a wood and a shell, or I could get a brick and a shell. Oh, but they provide me with a red worker, and I'm going to see that I'm going to need some red workers. Actually, here dealing with this barbarian, and eventually down the road, I'm going to have to construct these canal segments. So you know what? I think I'm actually going to tuck. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to tuck this one underneath my board. Come on. So essentially losing this card out of my deck. So now my deck's gotten a little bit thinner. My deck's gotten a little bit thinner because I decided to tuck it. But I can claim this card for free because there's no provision cost. So you know what? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to claim this card for free. Put it in my deck. I got rid of a card, but I added a card to my deck. That's okay. You know what? Taking this one. Just grabbing a red worker right now would actually be okay. Just to have. And you know what? Let's just get some food. And let's see what we can do here. Maybe recruit some people. I can recruit a couple more people and add to my deck, because adding to your deck is always really quite handy. So why don't we do that? Because I am going to get I can get another food right here. Now this is a worker placement spot where I'll actually get to keep that worker for the next round. So you know what? Maybe I will spend him to get another food. I got 3 foods. I could go all the way up that way. Man, if I had 2 reds and a black, I could have. If I had 2 reds and a black, I could have actually defeated him because I actually ended up with 3 food this round. But I don't think it was actually that possible. But I think, what should we do? They both provide wood. That's actually okay. Provides a white worker. And so you might be actually also thinking about what is this other symbol at the bottom of the cards. This symbol is on every card, but it's not in our games just yet. There's some sort of gameplay element that it will introduce that particular symbol later on. I don't have any wood. I don't have any bricks. Don't have any ways of getting woods and bricks. So, yeah, I think I am just going to end up... I'll spend a food... Which one should I get? Maybe the one with the provides the black worker? Maybe as it add it to my deck? Or wait. Take back my food. Because I'm going to need that black worker eventually. Actually, maybe I spend a... oh, wait. But when I get rid of it, I only just get the top. I don't actually get the side benefit as well. Okay, no, I'm going to spend 2 foods. And I'm going to grab both of these and add them. Add them to my deck. So I'm going to make my deck really large, so hopefully I'm going to get some double benefits. Maybe a little bit later. I think that's the play currently. I can't do anything with my red worker or my yellow worker just yet. Can't build a building out just yet. Nothing I can do just with 1 shell. So that is the end of the round. We didn't move the barge any. That's okay. What we will have to do now is we get to suffer attacks. So he's going to come and attack us. We have a penalty. We either have to destroy a card out of our deck, or I could pay a yellow worker as kind of like a sacrifice. So now that's kind of why I got this yellow worker right off the get-go, is that I'll sacrifice him. Alrighty. And now we go ahead and we refresh the card row. Now I think the way that the refreshing of the card row works is that I always have to add a barbarian to this row. There's already a barbarian here, so this person's actually going to go away. He's going to slide over. These ones slide down. He's going to slide over. And another barbarian's going to come into play. And then I will refill my villager deck. My villager spots. So now you can see I have 2 barbarians that I have to deal with. And so yellow worker, or a brick, or destroying cards. And it looks like both of them require red workers. Both of them require red workers in order to do it. One with yellows, one with black. That's not too handy. So we refresh the card rows. Now we go into... I kept calling it income. It's actually called the harvest phase. So I'm going to go into straight into the harvest phase. Now, which I am going to get 4 new cards from the top of my deck. 1, 2, 3... and 4. So I got 4 cards off the top of my deck. I only got 2 left, which means we are going to have to advance the flood. I am going to have to deal with the canal this time around. I am going to have deal that with it. I also get a white worker. I get a shell. I get a food. And since I tucked this card, I also get a wood. And I get another shell. And this guy comes back into my pool. So there we go. So I did all of my harvest. And now we go straight into taking our actions. Which, you know what? Why don't we just, since we have it right off the get-go here. Since we have it right off the get-go, I will spend my 2 white and 2 shells to move the barge. So temporarily, since you can only do this once per turn, you take the barge token off. You kind of just get set off to the side. And we take this, and this is going to say, okay, we get a brick. Whoops, come on. We get a wood. And we also have to destroy one of our cards. So we're going to do that, and then we have to destroy a card, which comes off the top of our deck and goes into the general discard pile. So actually, we only have one card left in our deck now. Luckily, we added a bunch last time around. Okay, but now I've got some resources in order to do some things, and I've got some cards that'll help me do some things. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to take a look at these barbarians here that I do need to take care of at some point. Now, what can I do currently? Try to see if I can actually deal with some of these. I do see this one right here. I'm gonna actually play that for a shell and a provision, mainly because it gives me 3 provisions, which is what I'm going to need to do to one of these attacks. That's kind of important. I have 1 red worker. Kind of want another red worker. Wish was there a way that I could get a wood. And there is. I can see it. I could actually destroy this card, which means my deck would get a little bit thinner, but it would actually get me a wood. I'm kind of thinking that I need some flexibility in some of my people, but I need a black worker. I don't have access to the black worker. I need 2 reds and a black or a yellow. Eesh. Okay, wait, hold on. It's fine. As you can see, planning out is really quite tricky. I was actually aiming to kind of do this. Because it would give me flexibility in my workers. Because I really do want to deal with one of those barbarians, but I don't know if that's actually possible this round. Or maybe, is it? No, because then I would actually need another food. I would actually need another food in order to do that. Interesting. So actually, instead of just gaining a food and a provision, I'm actually going to destroy this car. Oh, wait, no, I can actually get... No, wait, but I need the extra worker. Oh, but I can get an extra worker here. I'm actually going to play this to get the blue worker. That's where I get it. I'm actually going to use the blue worker to get myself an extra provision. That's what I want. I'm going to spend that provision that I just got for this guy. But I'm actually not going to take him into my pile here. I'm actually going to discard him right away to grab myself a yellow worker. Okay. Now, what was I looking at? Oh, yes. I was going to destroy this. Ugh. Get myself a blue worker and a wood. And then play this guy for a white worker. Oh, but I'm not going to be able to actually defeat that barbarian this round. Because I actually need to use the white worker. I actually need to use the white worker in order to construct that hut. Or that building. Hey, Maurice. Welcome to the game. He says, what's happening, man? Glad back you're streaming. Thank you very much, sir. It's absolutely 100% fantastic to be back. Really missed it. 3 weeks in a row we're going. It's good seeing you. Thanks, my man. Thank you for the support. Playing some Legacy of You, a solo-only Euro-style game And I've kind of hit a little bit of a wall here because I do want to kind of have to deal with these threats up here, but I can't seem to get the correct combination of workers, which means they're just going to kind of keep coming at me a little bit. How many people did I actually recruit into my pile here? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is 10, so I'm kind of back up to my deck size. I can recruit him for free. Put him into my deck. Well, maybe. Is this game okay? Maurice is asking, is this game out on the market, or were you able to get it from? I did not get it from Kickstarter. One of my friendly local game stores did get in some copies, and so I grabbed it from them. So I'm pretty sure that it's starting to become available on the market so that people can actually start picking up. Yeah, just watching some board game streams and putting a lock on my wallet. It's a very hard thing to do. Very hard thing to do. But I am back to the conundrum of I don't have the required workers or enough workers. No, I can. I'm just not going to add to my deck, but I can just, for free, I can get rid of him and grab a white worker. There we go. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, because then I am able to... Yep, I can spend a white, a brick, and 3 woods. So 3 woods, a brick, and a white worker, and I can construct this. I'll let a white worker be equal to a red worker. And I'm going to put this on this spot currently to get myself another food. Yep. That works. So now I can spend 3 foods. And I have 2 reds and a yellow. I got 2 reds and a yellow to defeat this barbarian, which now as a reward is going to get me 3 shells. 1, 2, 3. And gets discarded. Haha, haha, haha. Perfect. So I got 1 food left over, and I've got a bunch of shells that I could turn into some resources later on for my needs. But most importantly, I've got another food. So I'm actually, you know what? I am going to spend that food. I'm going to recruit this person into my deck. Sure. And I think I am good for... I think I'm good for now. Perfect. All right. So now what do we do here? Return the boat back to the board. So now it's on this next space. I have to, suffer an attack, which I wasn't planning on, but I have to either lose a yellow worker. I don't have any yellow workers to lose, so that means I have to actually destroy a card out of my deck. I have to refresh the card row, so a barbarian comes in. There's a room for the barbarian, and I can slide my villagers down and refill the villager row. And Maurice is asking, what's the object of the game? Is there a story associated with the actions and objectives? So loosely based in the background here, we have been tasked and challenged with building out this canal region because there is this impending flood that's coming our way. And so in order to do that, we actually need to, in order for us to win the game, we need to complete the canal. So we need to complete all of the sections before the flood catches up with our with our barge. And we need to do that by just associating. But also at the same time, there are these barbarians that are attacking our region. And so we also have to kind of keep them at bay, because if this row ever fills up with barbarians, we are also going to lose the game. And there is a bit of a story aspect into it. We haven't encountered any of it yet, but there are going to be some of these golden turtle icons that are, say, whenever I complete that task, I actually have to go into this storybook and read the entry, and it's going to change up our gameplay just a little bit. But we haven't got there yet. We only just kind of completed our first canal region, and the flood token looks like it is going to advance for us at the end, because I refreshed everything. So now I need to go into my harvest, not income, harvest phase. And the first thing in my harvest phase is I need to draw 4 cards, but I don't have 4 cards to draw. So since I have to shuffle my discard pile, the flood token advances. So it's now gotten 1 step, but I do have a fresh deck of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. So I'm back up to 10 cards. I shuffle it up. Oops, I guess you can see that I'm actually shuffling it. And then I'm going to draw 4 new cards. Put that down there. So now I know we have a couple turns left in order to get our matching resources. So I drew my 4 cards. And I get a white worker. I get another shell. I get a food. And because I actually built a purple building, I actually get another shell. I'm flush with shells here. And I talked to this card earlier, so I do get a wood and another shell. So I actually have lots of shells. That's great. Some opportunity to get some more and everything like that. So I'm obviously going to try turning in some of these shells I can trade them in for food. I can trade them in for bricks. I can trade them in for wood right now. Let's go. So what can I actually do here? I do have a spot to build another building. Getting a hut down would be really lovely. Getting a hut down would be lovely. Oh, this guy comes back too, this blue worker. Ooh, and I need a blue worker to get that. And I have a white worker that can be used as reds. I just need another red worker. Oh, but I do. Oh, but I do. I have this. I can discard it for a red worker up in the top corner here. So I actually have my 2 reds because of my ability here that I've unlocked, and a blue. So I actually have the workers. I just need the food. I need 3 food in order to do that. Oh, but I can get a food. I got some cards that I can discard for food. So let's actually do that. Let's just discard one of these. I'll just discard this one for a food and a shell. I can spend this extra blue worker that's probably not going to do anything to grab another food. Just like that. And I'll do it. I'll spend 3 foods. I'll spend 3 foods. 2 reds and a blue. To defeat you. Thank you. My reward is 2 more shells. Oh my gosh, I'm going to trade all these shells in for something. And a brick. Oh. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I could spend 3 shells for a brick. Yeah. Oh, but I don't have a white worker anymore. Oh no. I don't have a white worker anymore. Oh no. Is there a way that I can get a... No, there is no way. If I had 2 reds and a black, I could have got a white worker. I didn't have the black worker, though. Interesting. Uh-oh. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Well. Too bad I couldn't trade in shells for workers, hey? I do have lots of shells. I'm going to do... Well, I know at least I'm going to do 3 more. I'm going to grab another brick. Because I do want to build a hut. So I want to make sure I have my... This one I could discard to get another wood. I don't know what that's going to be. I'm just going to have to pre-plan here. Oh, some food and another shell. Which is not bad. Another food, another shell. Well, I'm going to grab that one for free. Add it to my deck. That's actually a good plan. And I should spend this food. You know what? I'm going to spend the food. I'm going to add this one because it actually gets me a brick. I'm going to add that one to my deck as well. And I could spend 2 of these shells to trade in for a food. But I'll spend that food to add this one to my deck as well. Kind of building up my deck again so that I can probably discard some of these cards to get some of their double benefits. And I've got some shells left over, but that's okay. I don't exactly know. I'm kind of flush with some of my resources right now, so I'm going to leave those open currently. I know I'm going to get a couple more. I'm going to get a few more. Oh, I'm going to get a few more shells at the beginning. I may as well. You know what I'm going to grab, just to stay flexible here, I'm going to grab another wood. There we go. Lots of resources. Lots of resources. Oh, but I am going to destroy a card at the end of my turn here again because of that barbarian, and I don't have the yellow worker. Again, but I think that's okay. All right, so suffer the attack. I'm going to take the damage. And refresh the card row. So these ones are just going to slide over. Add him to the mix. And refill the villagers. That is all. That is all. Okay. We go into my harvest. So I'm going to draw 4 more cards. 1, 2. Oh my gosh. Food galore. 3, 4. Oh gosh. Good. I got the white worker that I need because I only got 1 card left here. Whew. Okay. Grab that. So 4 cards. White worker. Cowrie shell. Food. Extra cowrie shell because I built a purple building. Get another wood. And a cowrie shell. That's everything that I get from my harvest. And this guy comes back to me as well. So... oh my goodness. Okay, let's take a look at my barbarians that are coming at me here this time. I do want to build my hut this time. I also do need to build my canal section. Oh dear goodness gracious. I do need to build my canal section this time around. So I do need to spend this for the white worker. I do need to spend that for the white worker because I need to spend 2 whites and 2 cowrie shells to build this canal section. So the boat comes off temporarily. I am going to get a brick and a wood. I'm flush with these resources. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, and I have to destroy a card. Oh no. Does open up another spot. Ooh, but now I'm going to have an extra barbarian. So I'm going to have 2 barbarians coming at me this time around. Oh no. Uh-oh. I think this is going to get out of hand on me. Jeez. Thanks, Dan, for joining us. He says, got to call it a night. Early office travel tomorrow. Sure to check it back. Ugh. 2 barbarians. Rage quit. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Or blood rage. Maybe. Have yourself a great night, Dan. Look forward to seeing you sometime in the near future. Thanks for the support. Oh boy. Let's see here. What can I do? I don't have a white worker in order to help me. I needed to build out that canal. That is my exhausted pile. 2 shells. What does that mean? Huh. You just go into the rule book here. What does that spot actually mean? Unless if anybody's actually played this game. Oh, trading. Let's see here. Exhaust 1 townsfolk card from your hand to gain 2 calorie shells. Oh, okay, so I can spend a card out of my hand. I can put a card from my hand into my discard pile just to get 2 more shells. Gotcha. Huh. I'm so flush with resources. I do need that extra. I do need that right work. Oh my goodness gracious! I wish I was just a little bit more flexible. Okay, no, I see it. I can spend my 1 provision right now just to get rid of this card. That gets me a white worker right now. Okay. Hey Brian. Whoops, I think I missed something. Did your boat sink? No, my boat did not sink. You take it off the board when you build a canal section, just to show that you can't build another section this particular round. It comes back onto the board at the beginning of the next round. Hey Brian, nice to seeing you. Are you also pulling double duty on the Tabletop Express stream tonight and my stream? Yeah. I wish you could build multiple sections in the same turn, but c'est la vie, I guess. So I got my white worker. Now, do I build my hut section? Do I make these guys a little bit more flexible? Or do I dare... What's on the other side here? It's a... Oh, get a worker of your choice type spot. Interesting. But that'll allow me to tuck a card, which will allow me to get me some more things at the end of each round. Or I could build one of these guys that they're a little bit cheaper. But I can't really... I'm not really dealing with my barbarian issue, am I? Let's go with the white worker. Yeah, let's go with the white worker. 3 clay and 1. So 3 clay, 1 wood. A white worker. This guy. I'm going to build it right here. It's going to give me a worker of my choice. Worker of my choice. I'm going to grab a black worker because I haven't really had access to those yet. Oh gosh, he does not show up. He does not show up on my table. I do have a black worker down here. If you can, wow, that does not bode well for that. And so yeah, so I'll cover up that spot. And on the backs of these are actually, ooh, we get a story entry. Story entry 1. So let's go to our storybook. Right at the very beginning. Okay, what does it say here? So spoiler alert, I'm reading story entry number 1. The promised workers arrived this morning. Among them was a young man, skilled and honorable in his trade. He has settled into the camp and will be valuable in the work ahead. File the constructed hut card into the history section. So this hut card is no longer going to be in the game. I'm not going to be able to get this reward anymore. Find card 10 in the story deck and add it to your hand. Oh. So I'm going to go to my story deck. I'm going to find card number 10. There he is. There's the young man. Ooh, he provides me 2 wood. And if I get rid of him out of my deck, he provides me with a worker of any kind. Well, that's kind of handy. Well, that was well worth it. I can grab a worker of any color now. That's quite handy. You know what? So let's recruit a blue worker. Let's recruit a blue worker. And really wish I could have an opportunity to get some more white workers. Oh, but I do have another spot. I now have another spot that I can tuck a card. I do have another spot that I can tuck a card. Black workers are going to be... Should I grab a yellow worker every round? Tuck the young man? No, we're getting 2 wood. That's pretty good. Wood's really good for constructing some of these building spots as I'm building out my canal spots. Grabbing a black worker. I need some black workers for those guys. I could make black workers wild as well. You know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to tuck this one under my board. So now that I get a black worker that you can't see. He's right here. Okay. So now what else do I got here? I'm thinking I got a blue worker to discard for that barbarian attack, but I don't have, and I'm going to have 2 more. I'm going to have so many barbarians coming at me. How am I supposed to do this? Oh my gosh, this game's hard. Look at all the white workers that I need to build out these next canal sections. Oof. Oh boy. Ooh, this game is hard. Now, what I have heard, though, that every time that you lose the game, remember, you only lose the campaign. This is a fail forward thing. If you lose a game, that's not the end of the world. Apparently, you get something when you lose a game that makes your next game a little bit easier. But of course, if you win the game, then your next game, they give you something that makes the game a little bit harder. So there's a little bit of a trade-off. You don't want you like scouting ahead. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. I should grab another worker of a color. Maybe grab another black worker. I do need black workers for those. Oh, I could grab myself a yellow worker that I can sacrifice. Ooh. Let's try that. Grab myself a yellow worker, because therefore I have my 2 guys that will go to the barbarians. Oof. This guy can go get a food. Currently. I could spend the food. Do I spend the food right now? Yeah, sure. I'll spend the food right now. I'll recruit this person. This person's free. So I'll add them to my deck as well. Huh. Spend them for a food. Just because, why not? And I could spend him for a worker of any color. Is white on there? No, white's not on there. But he does give me lots of wood. But don't necessarily need a lot more wood at this point. Yeesh. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. Do I have to spend? Do I have to? That's one thing I've never looked. If I have to use all my cards at the end, by the end of the round. Da 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 da. I don't think I do. I'm just looking. Sorry. I don't think I have to spend him right now. I don't think I've never read that I actually have to use all of the cards right now. I guess why not? But interesting. If you're watching this later at the fact, or if you're watching it right now and you've seen this, I don't see it. It doesn't say anywhere that I have to use all of my cards by the end of the round. But I guess I don't see why you wouldn't as well. Because I'm probably just... Because I just don't know if I want to use him for his worker ability yet or not. I'm going to go play with the thing that I don't actually have to use him from my hand. And because I don't know if there's actually a hand limit. There's no hand limit that I've read. There's no hand limit that I've read. So I am just going to go with that. Do I want to recruit another card? Because I could spend these two. No, I'm going to keep them around. I'll keep them around. Okay. So, Barge comes back. It's going to be on this tile now. We're going to refresh the card row. So these two go down. I have to make room for 2 barbarians now. So now I got 4. Oh wait, I have to. So I didn't suffer my attacks yet. That's these guys. Boom, boom. Slide down. Now I got to make room for 2 barbarians. Oh, this guy's got a story on him when I defeat him. So now I only have 3 villagers to select from. Oh, this is getting hard. This is getting hard now. And notice that all the barbarians always require 3 workers. It looks like I need lots of black workers. Luckily, I tucked that one. Okay. Okay. So I refresh the card row. So now I go into my harvest phase where I draw 4 more. I have to shuffle my deck so the flood advances 1. I am going to shuffle. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12 cards. So I got, as long as I don't destroy any cards, I've got 3 rounds to build up my next canal section at minimum. Haven't played it yet, so not sure on that rule. Confirm no hand limit. Yeah. So then I draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 5 cards. There we go. I get a white worker. I get a shell. A food. Another shell because I built a purple health. I get another wood and a shell. and a black worker. And these guys come back to me. And that is my harvest. Alrighty. Alrighty then. Well, I need to build up my reserve of white workers, but I also do need to build out my buildings, and I do need to get some flexibility going here. I do need to get some flexibility going. So let's go with this. I'm going to build out another building. And that other building that I'm going to build is one of these purples. Mainly the one with the black. The black can be used as white. Or white can be used as yellow. Black can be used as red as well. So that could actually help me out with that one. So let's go with that. I'm going to spend a white worker, 1 clay, 3 wood. Put you out onto this spot right there. That gets me a cowrie shell. So now I can use blacks as reds and whites as red and blacks, and red as white and blacks. Did you catch all that? Alrighty. Mainly because I need a lot of black workers up here too, to take care of all of my dealings. Now, do my cards here get me any workers? This one gets me a white worker. I should use that. Grab them. 2 provisions. I can take care of this guy. Gets me another white worker. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that might actually be a thing that we can do. I can spend my 2 foods. I'm going to spend a white as a red, black as a red, and a black as a black. I'll take him out. Gets me a shell and a white worker. Whoops, my barbarian deck is kind of getting splooshed everywhere. There we go. Okay, that gets me a little bit. Let's see here. Get another. Get another red. I can get another white worker here by discarding it. Cost me a food though. Huh. Well, I can get that food. I get a food and a shell. I got lots of shells. Okay, so wait. Those ones kind of do the same thing. So I'm just going to do this one. I'm going to do this one. It's a food and a shell. Food and a shell. I am actually going to spend this food. Discard you for a white worker. So now I got a couple white workers again. Ah, yeah. Because then I can trade this guy in for a yellow. Oh, here we go. Now we got something cooking here. Now, do I have the food? Do I have the food? Vincent wants to hear the story about the barbarians. Kind of want to hear the story about the barbarians too. I wonder if that's going to make our game harder. I think we can make it happen though, because I think I got enough shells and I got enough stuff that I can do for food. This one gets me a food and a shell. And then I can trade these 2 shells for a food, these 2 shells for a food. So that gets me 3 foods. Think we can do it, Vincent. Think we can do it. I also got to pay attention here because, well, I'm gonna have to start destroying cards here or whatnots. But and you know what, white workers are quite valuable for me. But let's go with, sure, if you want. Let's see what the story is. So I'm going to spend the 3 food. It's quite expensive. That's okay. 3 food. 2 blacks, because they're wild, for me. And a yellow. Gets me this. And it says I gotta go to story entry number 22. You're welcome, Vincent. Spoiler alert. I'm going to story entry number 22. Okay. Oh, you're gonna like this one. The cheers of victory were still ringing in our ears when a hush fell over the battlefield. The fight appeared to be over, but then something stirred in the dust and blood. A brute of a man who had fought to overcome our forces, blood streaming down his side, was rising. Staggering to his feet, his sword still in his hand, he turned back towards our men, lifted his head and tightened the grip of his hilt, ready for more. Filed a defeated barbarian card into the box in history. Oh, okay, so he goes to the history section. Find card 36 in the story deck and place it face up into the space where the defeated barbarian was. So card 36 goes to where that barbarian was. We got a new barbarian. Right there. So here we go. So you see, so this guy is coming back from the thing. He only needs a black and a yellow, and he's also got a story entry. This guy's got a story behind him. This guy's got a story behind him. Oh, you can see, yes, here's the guy that was defeated, and then, yes, he's kind of wounded now, but he's back for more. That's kind of cool. That's actually really cool. Okay, so so he comes back. He just straight up is going to destroy one of our people. And I don't have any blue guys, so I'm going to have to destroy another person. And I don't have any white guys. Oh no. So I'm just going to have to destroy a person. So as of right now, if this is unchecked, I actually have to destroy 3 cards. Oh dear. That's actually not that's not Oh, but and I also don't have the food. I also don't have the food to destroy them. So, okay. That's all right. That's the way this game, I think that's the way that this game is supposed to go, actually. I've heard it's not very easy. So, granted on that. Alrighty. Well, what can I do with my resources here? It doesn't look like that I can do much more. I might grab myself a brick just because I can. So, don't feel bad, Vincent. Vincent, don't feel bad. I have fun playing games. I have fun playing games with my community. That's the way this is supposed to go. But I am going to need some cards because I'm going to thin my deck out. I guess this can come to my deck. That one can come to my deck. And I do need some workers. I'm actually going to burn this card to get a brick and a white worker. Just because I don't need that white worker. Not for the sacrifice. I'm going to keep them around. And this guy may as well get added to the deck. I don't even know what I could trade him in for. Eesh. Eep, eep, eep. I'm going to keep you around again. All right. Boom. Barges on the butt. I'm going to suffer my attacks. I don't have a blue worker, so we'll destroy a card. That goes up there. He just destroys a card. Just like that. I can destroy a card or discard my white worker, but I'm going to need some white workers. So I'll just destroy a card. I think that's my play. So now this deck is only 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, I'm going to have to do it this round. But I need 3 white workers. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. Okay. So refresh the card row. Boom. Boom. And you got to make room for 2 more barbarians. Alrighty. And then this one can get filled with a person. Harvest time. Harvest crunch time. Draw 4 cards. Give me something good. Food. No. Brick. No. Black worker. Sure. Red worker. Okay, we're talking. I can work with that. Grab a white worker. Grab a shell. Grab a food. Grab 2 shells because I built 2 purple buildings. Grab a wood and a shell. Grab a black worker. And this blue worker can come back. Okay. Can you use the red and or black in replacement of the white for the canal? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because that is now the exchange. These are all equal to one another, which is very lovely. I can do that. I can. And I also got to be mindful of my barbarians up at the top here. I got to be mindful of my barbarians. Because I'm going to have some people to do that. So I guess these cards that give me people are probably going to be the ones that I'm going to want to use. So a black and a red. Red and a black. So I got 2 blacks, a red, a blue, and 2 whites. That's okay. And if I need to, I can discard another blue. Oh gosh, I have to be careful here too, because as soon as I destroy, once I build this canal section, I have to actually destroy 2 cards. And I've only got 1 card to destroy. Yikes. That's bad. That means the flood token automatically advances 1, which means we're kind of like it kind of caught up a turn. Oof. How many are in my discard pile here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, geez. My deck's getting a little thin. Okay. Well, I can actually get rid of this guy. I've got brick to get rid of this one. I could have a black to get rid of that one. To defend off that one if it needs to be. I think I might actually be safe from actually discarding cards. I'm actually going to do this. Perhaps. He's going to grab me a yellow worker. I am going to spend 2 shells for a food. I'm going to spend 2 food, a black and a yellow, to defeat this guy and see what happens to him when I read entry number 32. Spoiler alert, I'm reading entry number 32. A shout of triumph. Cheers of victory. The enemy was falling back, their champion finally falling to our own brave fighters. We thought he would never go down again, but this time he wasn't getting back up. We made sure of it. File the defeated barbarian card into the box under history. Gain 1 wood, 1 clay, and 2 shells. He gave us lots of stuff. Okay, I can use that stuff. All right. So I do need to advance the canal section. So I will spend probably the red one as a white. Sure. And 2 shells. So these are going to come off. This is going to come off. I've unlocked the ability now that I can spend a white worker and a food to get any worker. I get a clay and a wood. I'm so flush with resources. I just need to be able to do them. I also have to destroy 2 cards. So here we go. I'm going to destroy card number 1. I have to shuffle this deck, which means that flood token advances. And destroy a second card. Oh my gosh, I only just have enough to do 1 draw. Uh-oh. This might not be good. It was going to happen anyways, or else I would have lost the game. Alrighty. Well, let's start getting some stuff. Because I guess I could build out another building. Because I do have this black worker that I could use as a white worker. Maybe get another white worker at the beginning of my phase here. That might be beneficial. So white worker, a clay, and a wood. What's my other building benefit? Oh, we can get a resource of your choice. There's also something on the back of this card as well. No, I'm going to do it this way. Doop, doop. And him as a white worker to build out one of these. I get a food right away. So now I'll get a white worker at the beginning of... I get another white worker at the beginning of my rounds. Interestings. Oh, but I did get rid of all my peoples to not defend my barbarians. Args. And I got lots of resources again. I feel like I didn't do very good planning this game. Interesting. What can I do? What can I do my people here? Gets me a food. Yeah, this game is tough. This game is tough. I agree. Well, this one can get recruited for free. Or a blue worker right now. How is this barbarian? How is this a barbarian card? I think this is supposed to be flipped around. Where did I get that barbarian card from? Did that barbarian card get... It was. Where is it? Felt like that. Interesting. Anyways. Where did that barbarian card come from? Because it was in a villager spot. Was there a barbarian card in the villagers deck by accident? I wonder. Anywho. I just don't know what to do here. Okay, let's go with it. Let's roll with the punches, I'm guessing. So we'll put you in here. You get a brick. Wish wasn't so flush with resources. You get me a worker of my choice, which actually defends me from actually... You know what? Let's get rid of this young lad. For 2 woods. Got a lot of woods, but then a worker. Grab a black worker. Keeps me from discarding 1 off the top of there, I guess. And yeah. Thinking that is it. So you come down. Move down. They all have to move down. Just don't know where that extra barbarian card came from. Just don't know. But I've got a big old row of barbarians that are going to just absolutely decimate me. But at least I got some resources that I'm flush with that I can defend some of them with. Not really. Okay. I did the refresh. Oh, the boats was supposed to come back. Okay. I don't have a blue worker, so I have to destroy a card. And I don't have a white worker, so I have to destroy a card. I have a black worker that I can spend. I have a brick I can spend, and I've got 2 woods that I can spend. Now we get barbarians that are discarding resources. Yeah, exactly it. Okay. And on that note, I did the refresh of the card row. I should have only just done the attacks before I refreshed the card row. So actually I have these 2 woods back because they wouldn't have come into play yet. It would have just been these 4. These wouldn't have been in play yet, and then I refresh. Sorry, it's attacks first, then refresh. So I got my 2 wood back. Okay. Harvest phase. I get a white worker from this. That's always lovely. Draw 4 cards, but I'm fortunately I only can draw 3 cards. I have to shuffle my discard pile, which advances the flood token that catches up to our boat. So we are unsuccessful in game number 1. We are unsuccessful in game number 1. I know, Vincent. No! But fortunately for us, let me just read the end of game here. Okay. End of the game. The game ends when you either win or lose. You win the game if you successfully build all 6 canals. We built 3. We got halfway. Yeesh. And survived to the end of the current round. 3 different ways you can lose the game. The flood. If the flood moves onto the unbuilt section of the canal. Due to barbarians. Or due to damage. If you need to destroy a townsfolk card and there's none left. If you win the game, turn over the top victory card. This will direct you to read any story. If you lose the game, turn over the top defeat card. This will direct you to read one of 2 entries from the storybook. If you lost due to flood, or if you lost due to barbarians. If you turn over a gold... Okay. So I lost. So I'm going to go to this. There's a deck of cards here that I've already pre-shuffled. There are 7 victory cards. I'm not going to use any of those. And there are 7 defeat cards. So I've already got this shuffled. So I will draw the top defeat card. And it's going to tell me to do something. So we lost the game due to flood. So I'm going to read story card number, or story entry number 50. Spoiler alert. I'm reading story entry 50. Steadfast Shinashi. My mood has lifted today. It started dark and foul as the storms that bring the floods, which I must battle day after day. The floods have come, and I had to withdraw to the hills to wait out their bitter work. During these times, I often think of all those displaced by the floods as they rage across our land. Whole farms and villages are torn apart, and all those people must wait as I do until they can resume their own work. Today I was saved by such a group of workers. They came to the hills seeking shelter from the torrents of the valleys and found it here in our camp. After a little discussion, they revealed they have skills which will be of use and have decided to stay into the coming year to work with us in the grand endeavor. Perhaps their contribution will make the difference this time. It is true that in hardship we see new friendship. File the defeated card into the box of history. And find cards 29 through 33 in the story deck and shuffle them into the townsfolk for future games. So 29 through 33. Okay, so 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. They will get put into the deck. These townsfolk cards have a special food icon that may be used in any one of the food types: meat, fish, wheat, or milk. If you have not discovered or a use for the food yet, they will soon be revealed. Okay, so we got some new cards that are going to get entered into the card row. Looks like they allow us to draw an extra card for our turn. And yes, they have the wild food icon, but we haven't discovered what the food icon is yet. And yeah, and then their tuck abilities are each of the colored workers. Okay, so these are our folks that are going to get shuffled into our townsfolk deck for the beginning of the next game. Awesome. Well then, there we go. That's a game of the Legacy of You. That was difficult, to say the least. I didn't do any pre-planning. Perhaps not going wild off the start. Maybe just getting some extra stuff may have been the best way to do. May have been the best way to go for for my game. Probably getting an extra white worker every turn. Get a worker of your choice every turn. That would have been those would have been beneficial. I think. So, that is the game of the Legacy of You. If you made it this far, please make sure you give the old channel a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time that I go live or when a video gets posted. I'm going to switch my screen over here just so that we can see who we're talking to. Really interesting game. I'm intrigued to see how this is going to go, see if I actually get better at actually playing it. I felt like I was kind of doing things, but then it kind of really caught up. Those barbarians really caught up to us in this particular game. So, if I made any rule goofs, please make sure, turn on clean on subtitles. I'm going to try to see what happened. If you see any rules goofs before I manage to catch them and put them in the subtitles, please leave a comment in the video description. Also, does Legacy of You seem something that's interesting to you? I do plan on releasing more of my game sessions as I progress through the campaign. I may or may not stream them live, but I do plan on releasing more of the videos. So please stay tuned for what they for in the game. Vincent saying, I agree. Those barbarians were a tough crowd. They are a tough crowd. I feel like if I had more of the barbarians that discarded resources earlier, I think I may have had a better chance because I was flush with lots of resources. I just so happened to have the barbarians that were discarding people instead at the very beginning. So I'll give that a good shuffle next time around. But hey, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, and that's the way the egg rolls. Yeah, so Legacy of You. Pretty cool game. I'm really enjoying it. I enjoyed this gameplay, even though we lost. I think I got some ways that I'll play it differently. Anywho, please stay tuned to the channel. I will have some more gameplay videos of it. I'll continue the campaign. I'll mark them on the thumbnail, parts whatever, for the game. This was game 1, so this is part 1. So next week, or next time, I'm not going to say next week. I have no idea when it's going to come out, but next time that you see a video for Legacy of You, it'll be the part 2. Oh, my gosh. Hey, thanks, Vincent. You as well. Have a great night. Good vacation. Thank you. It's been a long school year. It's been very long. This vacation is going to be much needed and much time to rest and rejuvenate. I'll keep in touch with you though, because I'm going to have now more time that maybe we'll be able to get in that game of Ashes co-op. Because I really do want to play that. I do really want to check it out. So, all right, folks. Have yourselves a great day, great evening, great afternoon, deciding whenever you decide to watch this video. And again, make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell just to get notified when these go live. And you folks have yourselves a great time, and I will maybe see you next week. Stay tuned to the socials. I'm not 100% sure yet. But anywho, folks, have a great night. Legacy of You. It's got my brain itching and burning right now. So have yourselves a great night, folks. Ciao.